Okay. Jumping back in.
Okay, so something else that I wanted to bring up. There, I don't know if it's in this part when we go into Jennifer or if it's in the part where we went into Mallory. But I mean, just another example of Family Ties production being lazy is when they let the actors hang when they're like they have a line before they go to the fade out to the back in time, and they're
Yeah.
all of the actors are like, "Oh, Jennifer," and then they go, "Ha ha ha." By the way, and they have to make up dialogue because they haven't cut away yet.
Right.
It is. It was just lazy. It was the type of thing they make fun of, like on Saturday Night Live, if they're doing like a spoof on a sitcom. Where they
Yeah.
just leave the actors hanging on an uncomfortable button out of the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one happened while Stephen and Elise were making out?
I don't know if it's for this part or the next, but there's actually a part with the Stephen and Elise making out that they totally dropped the ball on a joke where like Mallory's like flipping out because Stephen and Elise are kissing each other. They're like, "Oh, I love you, Merry Christmas."
That's the scene.
And
Yeah.
it's I think after the flute and everything, and then Mallory's like, "Why don't we talk about how Jennifer was born?" And they're like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Yeah, because it'll stop him from kissing," because she doesn't want to hear the story. She doesn't want to stop him kissing. But the joke would have been because we don't want to find out how we get a fourth sister, or like.
See? There you go.
We don't want to know the story of how we get the.
If this continues, we'll have another sibling.
Yeah, that would have been so much funnier. But God forbid they make a joke that works.
Right. Yeah. So we go, and this probably is this is the most pointless.
This is the cherry on the top of the cake, right?
Oh. So we go to the hospital in Columbus, Ohio, where Jennifer was born. Nixon has won the election. I guarantee you, this was the only reason this scene was invented or created, was so that they had an excuse to have a little Alex P. Keaton come in and say 4 more years with the Nixon fingers up. That's the only thing. That's the only thing this scene serves.
They were going for basically a David Fry impersonator joke with a little kid with a bowl cut.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. I'll be honest. I thought the little the little Mallory was better than the little Alex. I thought the little Mallory was okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, that little Mallory should have been... I'm sure that Gary David Goldberg was kicking himself that he didn't cast her as Jennifer.
Absolutely. Wrote that down.
I wonder...
Said, missed the boat. She was a reject. She went to the network on Jennifer, didn't get the part. And they said, we'll work in.
Yeah.
We'll find something.
Yeah. Like, she was too young by a hair type thing. Like, she was probably like 6 or 7 instead of what Jennifer was like 9 or 10. But she was good. She was a good actress.
Yeah, she was fine.
And I say was... because I looked her up on IMDb. She died of a heroin overdose.
Thank you for that one, Paul. That was
Thanks, Paul.
One more awful thing to come out of this episode.
Merry Christmas.
It just reminds me of that.
Honestly, if you were in this episode, wouldn't you want to do heavy drugs?
Oh.
Reminds me of the scene in Annie Hall where he's going back and all of the little kids in his 2nd grade class. Wouldn't it be fun to know what they're doing now? And that Topper is that little girl who says, "I used to be on heroin, but now I'm on methadone."
Totally.
Yeah.
Actually, there's an irony to bringing up Annie Hall, Corey, was because Dr. Waxman.
That's right, Charles Levin. He
plays the Woody Allen cipher in the play that he stages. When they show the rehearsals at the end of the movie, he plays the Woody Allen character.
He was in another Woody Allen film, too. He was in Annie Hall, and then there was another one. So he was part of that Juliet Taylor, who used to cast all the Woody Allen films. She really did have sort of a stock New York Jewish character actor type that she liked.
Yeah.
Totally.
Who was the nurse in this? Because she looked really familiar.
I hope she never worked again.
Her name was Mary Gorman, and I never looked her up.
Yeah. I need to look that up. She sounded really familiar.
But she pissed me off. I thought she was dreadful.
Oh, I'm not saying she was good. I'm just saying she was familiar.
So once again, Elise is pregnant, but this time, Stephen in the first thing was just freaking out because it was his first kid. Second time, he had a poli-sci final, and he was freaking out and wasn't available. now he's super available. It's almost like he's read Dr. Spock, and like the theme of this one is how much of a go-getter dad, like he wants to be in the delivery room, whereas it used to be a thing where dads wouldn't be in the delivery room.
Right.
So I feel like this was sort of showing that like now he's really into it and pro-women and blah, blah, blah. And
how he's evolved over these last 7 or 8 years and become a real father.
Right.
Which is weird because it's his third kid. He doesn't seem like the type, like you were saying, Corey, it doesn't seem like a characteristic that he would have even to begin with.
Nope.
So it just looks so weird of now he's obsessive about the pregnancy, the birth, and everything when he's already had 2 kids. He seems like the type of person that would already kind of know or have been reading books like this from day one.
Yeah. Or just not reading books because you've lived it twice. Like,
what do I have to study for? I've done 2 performances. This is the 3rd show. I don't need to rehearse.
No, exactly.
Well, Corey, maybe you need to rehearse. The director was talking to me at the cast party.
And
I'm just saying, Corey,
a little rehearsal.
kind of going to our backstory and origin of working on Snow White. You did quite a few shows as Grumpy, and then were fired as Grumpy.
I do tell that story a lot. Because I was too angry. That's why they fired me. I was actually angry.
Yep. That's an absolute compliment as far as I'm concerned.
I know. I take it as that.
So yeah, and then they wheel Elise off into the delivery room, and it's just basically her just in labor. That's it. It's just her screaming in labor.
Yeah, it's like a good 30, 45 seconds of a delivery happening, and it made me so uncomfortable because it's me. And I looked up the history of birth on TV, and the first ever was, where it was even described, was I Love Lucy, but it happened off screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Lucy was actually pregnant in real life, and she had a C-section, I think. And then the first time it was ever on screen was Gloria in All in the Family.
Huh.
So
that was the first on-screen birth that they ever had in a sitcom?
That was it, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That was a lot of years.
All in the Family broke so many...
Yeah, that's 1970, and so you're going from the late 50s. You're going from about 59 to 70. You're going almost 11 years without a birth on television. That's crazy.
It's yeah. I mean, maybe they brought it up or something, but it was never on screen where you saw a delivery. And also, I mean, just another thing that I happen to know offhand was that the first toilet flush, obviously, was also All in the Family.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually a punchline, which they used quite often as a joke, where you would hear the toilet flush from upstairs, and then Archie would come down like spraying some Glade or waving a newspaper, lighting a match. Oh, I get that one.
So yeah, and to go with what you're saying, Paul, yeah, it was uncomfortable. I was more uncomfortable watching that scene than the actual birth of my son. So it's like, wow, this isn't stopping. And then we go back to the living room, and the kids all get together, and what do you know? They've actually pulled some money together. Alex doing a little bit of Reaganomics talk, and they buy Steven the camera that he had been talking about at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, that was our C story. It was one line at the beginning that he wanted a camera, and then at the end he gets a camera.
Two lines of dialogue, there's your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a Christmas episode, not a lot of Christmas. The only thing you got is the Christmas tree in the back. That's pretty much it.
And Jennifer made hats for everybody.
And hats.
Yeah, red and green hats.
Hey, do you notice the
also
moment
at the...
where Elise's hat fell off in that last scene?
No.
Somehow or another, those hats were so ill-fitting, and I think that was the joke. But Elise's hat, she puts it on, and then somebody reaches and knocks her hat off, and they don't even deal with it. It's like you could tell it was a real moment of her hat falling off, but no one even mentions it.
Well, you picked up on so much more than we did, because we were just pissed off the whole time.
And the other thing was, did you notice he pulls the camera, Steven pulls the camera out of the box and immediately takes a picture. So we don't need batteries or film? I mean, I do know what year this is, but you still need batteries and film. Film didn't come loaded in a camera, even in 1983, 82.
Yeah, you had to put. Yeah, they just pop it right out and take a picture.
Sure, put the timer on. Go ahead, take a picture.
And then Merry Christmas.
There's also there's a line that Mallory has where she asks them, asks Mom and Dad, "Do you still see Crazy Larry?" And they're like, "Yeah, we visit him on weekends."
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
It was just a joke about him being crazy?
Yeah, no, but they visit him on weekends. That they regularly see him. How do they regularly
where did
see
they tell
this
the
guy?
kids they were going?
And how did they not know about Crazy Larry?
I don't understand that.
Are these
nowhere.
when they see Crazy Larry? Are they leaving the kids by themselves? Because
Right.
like when they go up to the when they go up to the lake, and they're like, "We haven't left the kids alone before," but they do see Crazy Larry, but the kids don't see
Kids
Crazy
don't know
Larry.
about it.
Oh God!
We're going to the insane asylum. You sit outside on a bench, but we're not going to tell you who we're visiting. It's Crazy Larry Waxman who delivered Mallory.
Again, how lazy can the writing staff be? They didn't even think that punchline through. You could have put. You could have put
written on the back of a napkin this episode.
They drank all the eggnog in 1982. There was a short eggnog.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, that is our first Christmas with the Keatons.
Can I say one more thing? I'm sorry.
Yes.
They take the picture.
Please.
They take the picture. Stephen times it. He runs back, and they're all like talking, and they do the thing where it messes up. And then they go back and do it a second time. just like the JFK quote where it's like, it doesn't work unless you do it a lot.
Twice,
right. The punchline doesn't work unless you do it twice. And so then they do it the waspy way where it's like perfect. Now they're the perfect family. Do you think, I mean, is there a history of the self-effacement in like sort of like Jewish humor, like Borscht Belt humor, where it's like Gary David Goldberg put that in there, but then they have to like wasp it up?
Wasp it up a little bit.
Yeah. Because it would have been like the Woody Allen Annie Hall thing of like, look at this crazy family, but they didn't leave well enough alone, and that was depressing.
That is depressing. I agree with you. They should have left them to be quirky because they are quirky.
Yeah. I need some eggnog after this.
And Jennifer, the worst acting of Tina Yothers so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was dreadful. There was a lot of her, too. Every one of those family scenes had a lot of her.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I blame her a little bit, but I also blame, again, the writing staff because they haven't really defined this character still. They're trying to go for, like, they want this cute little kid to have kind of like an adult personality. And so, shame on them because she's not an actress that can really pull that off.
Nope.
You know? Yeah. Well, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
This is just how like I feel on Christmas, where I'm just like, well, I opened all my presents. I'm gonna go watch my Beatles movie now.
Okay.
Same feeling every Christmas, huh, Paul?
Yeah.
Just a slight disappointment. Boy, there was an awful lot of build-up, and we got absolutely nothing.
Nothing we wanted. Well, everyone, rate and review our show on iTunes. If you have comments, email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at QTWFT for updates. And each of us is also on Twitter. I'm at Follow Jones.
Paul's Pop. I think it's Paul Packler. And I'm at Corpep. He's gone.
It was so depressing. We went from the most depressing thing to, hey, and well, if you want to follow, rate and review.
I can't leave it like this, Paul. I can't leave it like this. It's
Show us the T-shirt. Show us the T-shirt one more time.
Yeah. Right in our spirits again. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at, Dick Nose?
Paul, we will not end like this show ended, okay?
No.
It's going to be a Merry Christmas, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like us on Facebook. We'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics. Fanboy Comics is an online conglomerate of geek media providing its readers with daily reviews, interviews, and podcasts that span the pop culture spectrum. Check them out, please, at fanboycomics.net. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the Family Types theme song Without Us. Be sure to check out Perry's music and dates at perryadams.com. We also like to thank Brian Dillon, who created our fantastic logo and edits our show. Brian is the president and co-founder of Fanboy Comics, so follow him at Comic Book Slayer. And also Sean Foster, Fanboy Comics graphic designer, who worked on our logo as well. Guys, once again, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Feel better, Paul. I hope your cough clears up.
Thanks. Yeah, I hope it wasn't. That's going to be another little thing for everyone to enjoy on this episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.